Yo, hello. Hello, hello. How you guys doing? What's up? Different way. Hello. Omar Sonic, dude. Hello, I saw your post. 2 seconds. Let me get my... There we go. Yo. Looking a little empty back there, huh? How are you guys doing? Poodlestein, Fatal, BTVR, King Spud, Eric, Funky, Glitchy, Omer, Different Way, Glitchy. I already said Glitchy. Glitchy, why do you do this to me? Streaming from the warehouse tonight? Maybe. Melikov, dude, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. I'm going to lower this a little bit here. I'm going to start real quick with just talking a little bit about time management. Because it's crazy right now. It's crazy. Story time, let's go. Oh, it's not too crazy. It's not like a story or anything. Hopefully it'll be interesting to you guys. Let's do it like this. And then we'll get into the critiques with you guys. Like, make sure everything is closed. That doesn't need to be open. Cool. It's not that time the kid threw an egg at you. Dude, I am so happy I shared that story with you guys. Okay, let's lower this music down. I'm gonna put my own music on, and you can enjoy your music as well. Okay, so we're gonna start with our board here. I'm hijacking my content review board. So just to give you a picture of, like, because people are always like, how the hell do you manage your time? And what is, yeah, the Scooter Avenger story. That's an amazing one. So we have work, of course, right? Then we have the stream, Discord, and I guess you could just say like Empire in its own, right? There's the Patreon, YouTube. There's all this thing going on. Then we got work. I'm a lead, right? So I'm managing a team, and work's really busy right now. We'll put it like that. Work is extremely busy. With any project, work is going to be like, it's going to be here, and then sometimes it'll go way up here, and it'll peak, and then it'll drop back down, and you'll have this like this calming lull where you're kind of like, I don't know what to do with myself, and then it starts to climb again until you reach this peak point. So we're at a peak point with this. Combined all of this with I'm doing some course recordings that you guys, some of you are helping me review. That's a big project. This is much larger than I think a lot of people realize. And we'll dive more into that as we start to make it more public. So we've got Empire, work, courses. We've got our life, right? And our life is, Maddie, we got Maru, you got friends, and then you've got, we just bought an apartment. So with that comes the move, prepping for the move. So like all the cleaning to do the move prep, I guess you could say. But this is like, how? What are you, this is a lot. Oh yeah, there's presentation stuff. Well, I can't talk about it. It's like presentations in general. So combine all of this, and I'm not showing you a lot of what's happening here, but so with the move on top and the course recordings, there's a lot of stuff coming to a head. I guess with the Empire thing as well, the things that are on my mind right now is new moderators. If you haven't already done it and you are interested in it, there is a thing you can fill out, a forum, to become a moderator on our Discord. We're going to start reviewing those this weekend, right? So how is this all happening? So first of all, the Empire stuff, thankfully you guys are very good at managing yourselves. I just have to ban fake accounts like a couple times a week. And moderators currently are already doing a lot and helping me with all that stuff. And then you combine all of that with how I need to keep up with Patreon and YouTube. You'll see lulls in the Patreon because it's just going to take time for me to upload stuff. Maybe I should get someone that can help me do that. We've got the course recording things that's been going on for months, and we're getting close to the end, and because of that, it's all kind of coming to a head. Work is crazy, and I need to make sure that I balance work and life. And you could argue that all of this is under life, and then you have work as well, right? So I just want everyone to know that this is all doable, but we have to prioritize stuff, and you have to be okay saying no to things. Oh, I forgot. This is we got mentorships in there too. So what I will have to do in order for this to all happen. So today's stream will be the last stream until April, because the internet's going to go, the power's going to go. I've got to move everything. So that's going to alleviate some of the pressure. But it's a long time till April. It's a long time. So this is the stream. So it's like a mini vacation at the same time. Well, we do all this moving into the apartment and get everything set up. 3 months? Wait, is that right? Hang on. No, April's like, dude, in 2 weeks, I get the keys to the apartment. After those 2 weeks, 3 more, so 5 weeks for you guys, and then we'll be back. I think it would be March 31st or March 31st or April 4th. Anyways, I just want you guys to know that's all the stuff that's going on and how I'm managing this. Man, you guys make 3 months sound insane. 1.3 months, roughly. But yeah, there's a lot going on. And sometimes I can't stream just because of the nature of staying alive with the energy. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys that. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And if you want to help me with the course recording stuff or the Patreon stuff, let me know. Stream through smartphone. I might give some updates in the Discord for sure. I'll still be active in the Discord. Is this going to be in the test? Oh my God. The new place is going to have some pretty nice internet. We'll say it like that. We'll say it like that. Okay. Now that we've gone through that, I don't want to burn any more time and just want to how can you help with the course? When are you doing mentorship? So mentorships have been going for a while, and because of time and energy, I've really slowed that down because of just all the stuff happening. That will pick up in some form in the near future. It'll be this year for sure, but just so you're aware. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Also, okay, if we look at the Discord, do you guys like do you like this format? So what it'll be is like in critiques, you can see it here. And afterwards, what it'll do is we'll lock it, and it'll have the week number on it, but we'll lock it, but you can still view it. So I think this it gets everyone looking at the same place, and it helps me get rid of another channel as well that we have to manage. So if you go here, all the stuff is in here for you guys, and we should probably get started because time is of the essence. Let me just make sure there's a few more windows that are open here. And why is that open like that? Yeah, so what I ended up doing in order to manage all of that stuff is I was just like, okay, time to open a calendar and just started blocking stuff in. One thing at a time. What can I do in the morning? What can I do in the evening? Do I need an evening off? Is this day going to be busy? Okay, there's no streams. I can help with mentorships until this date. And then it's like trying to figure out where all those go. And it gets everything moving at least a little bit or in a rate that I'm comfortable with and happy about. Want to give a holler and a greets. Dude, pleasure, man. Thanks for swinging by. Okay. Let me just start opening this up. So this already. Oh, dude, with the Sonic. Oh, man. Okay, so this is from Alex G. Are you guys ready? Got your music ready? Popcorn? Notepad? I'm ready. Ben Joe, dude, thank you for the 37 months. Okay, so Alex, I remember when you posted this and you were still kind of like, you had your first iteration. This is a substantial improvement from the previous one you posted. Let's just take a note on some of the subtle normal information you're doing and then your attention to detail when it comes to roughness. So the credit is due, so to say. So if you see here, we've got really nice highlights. The roughness on the paint is, or I don't know if you want to call it paint, but it's reading really well. And the way you're doing your wear and tear looks really nice. There's some scratches here that almost make me think that there's writing. So maybe the scratches feel a little unintentional. Or like not natural. They look intentional, like you wrote. But there's like a nice normal information going here. Love the just adding the character sticker on there for some personality, you know, to the prop. And then the way you're peeling and exposing the metal looks really good. There's also, you have the metal itself being more raw around the edges, which is extremely nice. And then these kind of directional, like dirtier things going on. It's really nice also. So the things that stick out to me, just to highlight before we move on, because this is more of like, this looks great, is make sure to solve the top part here. Look at when I say that, I mean like how the plug connects. It's a perfect opportunity to add some plastic or a rubber that's a completely different color and maybe dirty, and then just a cable that just kind of runs down somewhere. Can come around here or something like that. That'll look really nice just for presentation. Now, the next thing I wanted to mention was the stretching that you're getting here. We just want to try and figure out how to make it not look like it's getting squished in the material. I assume the UVs are probably fine, and it's more about just how you're approaching the way you're blending between these two materials. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was, man, see from this distance, this looks good. This is good. When you zoom in, sometimes the metal is lifting, and I think it's supposed to be the paint lifting. So all you probably need to do is make sure to mask that normal height difference for where this exposed metal is, because I believe it's all should be in this this coating that's happening here, this glaze that's on top of the metal. Otherwise, this looks pretty nice. Let's see if there's anything else we can. Yeah, no, this is pretty awesome. Fixing the stretching with the projection might be a huge pain. So you can do that by, instead of using, I'm kind of curious how this is placed, because you can do that by just changing the way you get the information or the mask that exposes or removes the paint. So instead of, like, I'm assuming this is being done by being painted on, but if you project directly, you can project and match the skew, and that'll hide the warping that's happening with the normals. But yeah, I'd be curious to see as well. Yeah, if it was triplanar or something like that, you can get skewing like this. But I think if you use like a mask projection directly with a mask painted on, that'll go a long way for helping with the skew. Because it will stretch what you're painting to fit with the, like, it'll look weird in the UVs, but it'll look good here. Whereas like in the UVs, it probably looks good, but here it's more stretched. So it's the reverse. The sticker was on the white part. Oh, you mean like here? I don't mind where it's at. It also has the discolored age and the nice, like, where are we at here? The nice printed pattern where you're like, oh yeah, that was printed. Really cool though. Really cool. You should be proud of this. There's a lot of subtleties that are being put into place for this. This is probably the best material work I've seen from you. Man, look at it right here. Dude, this area here, it just feels, you can feel it, you know? All right, Eric, you're up next. Hey, Jared, this one is about 75% done right now. Looking for general input. I'm looking to zoom out. These are, is it this low res? Hang on. I'm like, there's no way. It is this low res. Oh boy, those are nostrils. Welcome. 167 raid. Papo Nut, hey, thank you very much. So for anyone who's new here, which I imagine a handful of you are, sniff, sniff, how you doing? I hope I smell okay. We're doing Discord critiques. If you want to hop in on that, chat can let you know where to go while I keep the momentum going. But welcome. My name's Dynasty. Well, yeah, chat, the text is not going to figure out how to say that. Anyways, okay, so looking for general input on anything that stands out in a bad way or breaks the realism. About to start on the second pass on almost everything. Curious what your opinion needs the, in your opinion, what needs the most revision? The floor especially has been a real sticking point. So the floor is going to be a lot of decal work or surface breakup. That link doesn't work anymore, Eric, for whatever reason. If you put the .com, they'll be able to find their way. But thank you for the raid, by the way. I hope your stream went well. And many sniffs ahead. So, what to do, huh? What to do? Well, I hope you have references for this location or a location similar to this, because the things that are sticking out to me are how the ceiling is. Like, it's very flat right now. I like that you're adding these details of connection points. These will also be anchor points for how the ceiling wears as the materials kind of break them apart. Scale-wise, scale feels strange to me, and I'm not sure. I feel like you're missing like a layer of medium props, like boxes and stuff. There's a ref in the post? What? Where is it? Am I crazy? This is a reference? Bro, that's why it's so small. My brain looked at this and was like, cool, another angle. Nice, nice. Why is this so low res? Come on, Eric. Give me low res images. Well, you're you're matching it pretty well because I look like an idiot. So I have to keep zooming these in and out to get this to work. So, I mean, the devils are going to be in the details. Because you can see, like, there's little micro details building up in the crevices, like in here. So I think if you had a kit of, like, little micro information that has normals that really, like, captures, like, the surface not being so flat, right? Because it's flat here, but it still doesn't feel flat. Now, when you look at the ceiling, I guess you're matching this pretty well. I think what's throwing me off is your tiles are smaller than the tiles in the reference. So scaling your tiles up so they're larger, I think is going to help with the scale. Otherwise, making sure to look at the roughness of the materials as you start to take your second pass. It's really going to be in these, like, all the subtle roughness and albedo differences. You can see where the ceiling's peeling back here, making sure that happens here, and then using the kit that you build for that peeling throughout the ceiling. It's just like peeling effects and like random splotches that change the roughness. And then you can see, like, with your windows, you've got like a general grime at the bottom of the window, right? So if you go and you look here, the grime varies per window, and you can imagine, like, okay, maybe there's a tree here, and so the grime is going to be quite a bit different than maybe the windows further away from it. But like getting this variation in the panels and the dirtiness to be far less uniform is going to go a long way for adding that character. This is a great opportunity for you to just kind of change up the surfaces how you please to try and, like, draw our attention. Like with this vault here, having stuff that's built up around it that's dirty and grimy, and then maybe the windows and this are all pointing, like, wires coming down, and like you have this reference. I hope you have 30 or 40 more references that are of spaces similar to this, that are just showing, like, what the ceiling's doing, how stuff, like, what's hanging off the ceiling, what's on this table. These drawers are, like, pulled out. Everything feels very, see, like, these drawers feel like they need to be further out, just so everything feels a little bit more grounded, or I guess real in their thickness. Like, if you see the thickness of the table here and the thickness of your table, like, I can't see the top edge. Thickness looks pretty good. It might be sticking out, so you can see how far it's sticking out here. Yours, I would extend that just so you get the undershadow there. I would just bring the edge out a little bit more, because that's how you're going to get this separation. And there's a gap here. You have two tables, so you've gone for a different direction. I think this gap is... I feel like that gap's kind of important. That table's kind of weird. It's kind of strange. I think it's one large surface and then like two boxes on both sides that have drawers. It's a very weird design. Some stronger bounce light would help as well, for sure. But it's going to be about your texturing, decal work, and all of the micro information you plan to add on the surface. But I think scale-wise, everything is good except the tiles. And then it's getting the unique breakup between all of the areas that are... You're in a very good spot. Like, I would say this is like like you're saying, the first pass. And then you move from there and you start to distinguish and separate areas and kind of make little mini stories of just how stuff deteriorates and breaks down. Yeah, see how much stuff's going on the floor here, and yet it's still kind of empty? Getting all of that variation is going to be important. And a lot of the work is going to be in your roughness. I think if I had to say one more thing, the frame thickness variation that's going on here, I would almost make these just a little bit wider so that they separate themselves even further from these. Just a little bit wider around here. Yeah, and then really lean into the dirtiness of that glass. I hope that helps, man. The gap could be there for an extra person to sit there. Man, that's pretty intense if that's the case. And thanks for making my life hard by making your reference look exactly like your scene. Or your scene exactly like your reference. Something like that. Just remember, everything is connected. They all touch. Like this is touching the ceiling. This is connected to the wall. What happens when they touch for long periods of time and are forgotten? Like where does grime show up? How do things deteriorate? All right, Omar, or Omar, maybe it's Omar. You're stuck in the blockout, but you're slowly getting there. Okay, so here's our reference. Really cool reference, by the way. You're slowly getting there. Tried making it modular, but didn't work. So in a piece like this, I don't know how much modularity will help you. Maybe like 1/2 of the roof, and it's more reuse instead of modularity, right? Having some debate on which minor details should be modeled and what should be textured. The main issue I'm afraid of is how should I texture it, be it hand painting or sculpting. So if you did let's look at the scene here so far. So if you go about this from a sculpting standpoint, to me that's how I would go, because if you go like the Blizzard approach, they sculpt everything and then they use those high res sculpts to help them texture in their painted look, right? So maybe you can look up some techniques for how they're doing that. But there's definitely some reuse you could do, like these 3 panels and then this bar and this bar. That could be its own prop, and then you can put it on the other side and just not have to worry about what it looks like on the other side. Are you planning to get this into Unreal or is it just Blender? Is the in plan Blender? Possibly. Okay. So I would make that decision now, and then depends on my PC not crashing. I'd make that decision now just so that you can start getting the parts into Unreal to position them. And if you're not going to be in Unreal, that's fine. Just don't fret. If it's just going to be in Blender, then you're already in a spot to just kind of keep going. But just think about where you can reuse. It doesn't have to be modular in that sense, but where you can get a lot of reuse. Like the pumpkins, what I see here is 3 pumpkins, a small one, a medium, and a large. And then you should find ways to reuse those, and you'll save a ton of time. Maybe the small one is the medium one scaled down. But I would sculpt for the details that you feel are large. And then at some point, the scale of the information becomes small enough that it's probably good to texture it instead of taking the time to sculpt it. They're all the same pumpkin, just scale difference. Nice. Okay, they're not reading. That's great, because they're not reading as if they're the same one, so that's really good. If we look at the reference, just making sure that you have room for all of your elements that you're placing around the scene, because it's all going to be about balance and how this is laid out. And if you're, I mean, you could model these stone pieces and just arrange them to make that format. You could maybe make like 5 of these and then 1 or 2 of the small ones, and then just kind of place them. That doesn't have to be a material per se. Generally, it's looking good though. These pumpkins, like your pumpkins look like a different style as well, so it's just going to be a matter of trying to figure out how you want to take that. Some things I would say is the house right now looks a little short. Like if you look at the here down, like this curve and this is more of like a square, and then this is like this rounded piece. So yours is a square, but this rounded piece seems shorter. Like it feels like it needs to be taller here. So you just pull that whole area up a bit. It's the same with the well, or this fire pit. I wanted to say well, but this fire pit right on the edge has like a top to it, right? And making sure that the top has that thickness so that it has the top edge is going to be important. See the depth of this wood table as well? Getting that depth here and like looking at the space of this arch. Checking those, getting the thicknesses all right. There's a consistent kind of language that's going on. Like the thickness of this is very similar to the thickness of this, which is similar to the thickness of this. Then you have these primary supports. Those are all relatively the same thickness. Then you have this like main shape. But like even here, this is like a maybe main, secondary, tertiary. And all the tertiary widths are going to be around the same size. You see that? So just some stuff to think about. But if you want to figure out how you want to approach like the sculpting and whatnot, maybe do the light post here. Get that sorted and like try the approach you want to do and see how it goes. And if it goes well, you're like, okay, that'll be my process for the next one. Then you approach the wheelbarrow. Because it looks like you have almost everything here, minus like the micro details. I would block out every other prop that you plan to use. And then from there, just start doing a first pass on it. All right, Tommo. Tom Gambo. Looking to get some feedback on surfacing as well as ways to improve my presentation and breakdowns. So surfacing looks pretty good already. I'm digging this. The way this is modeled. So there's a lot of like geometry here that maybe doesn't need to be there. Unless this is curved, isn't it? This is a curved surface. Ooh, buddy. All right. Let me, this is nice too. Okay, let me just scroll down through here. Okay, so it is a curved surface from what I can tell, so I'm just going to trust that geometry is there for that reason. That sounds like a nightmare for whoever is putting these handles on. Whew. But so what I would say is this looks like a very, very strong first pass. Like very strong. Like it's quote unquote done. First pass, right? But looking at this prop, I don't know. So there's props, but they're not on the table. Is that Alchemist props whip? Okay. So this is like a work in progress post. So what I would say is it just now all of your assets just need that pass. That basically gets the detail of like how this surface ages. Because right now this is, to me, is quite pristine, even though I can see there's some markings on there. But I see replication in the markings, so there's patterns that my eyes are picking up on. And it's just a matter of like, poly count on this looks pretty good. Alphas look good. Geometry looks good. And it's all about getting your materials to read. Showing the age, the character, like where the grime and the just like discoloring happens, where fingerprints are. If there's any opportunities to change the material type, it's always nice to have multiple materials. So like you have glass, this metal, maybe this could be like a different colored metal. Maybe this is a different colored metal. This cap here, instead of flat, could be like look like a little lid thing that you pop off. There's a bit of a lack of use of the UV space here. Yeah, see, your roughness looks pretty good. It just needs that. It needs a detail pass that adds the character, the aging. This looks quite good. I wouldn't put any normal information on where the pen writing happened, just because it's such a micro detail that in order to see it, you have to exaggerate it. And when you exaggerate it, it starts to look like embossed or faked. The way you're doing the pages is pretty nice. I would get at least one page on the top to just a thin page, and then maybe one inside here, just to give us the illusion that there's some pages in there. This looks good. I would say pay attention to the shape of sand. So if you look at real hourglasses, just look at like how much they turn into like a peak, since everything is falling and building up right here, and everything is being pulled down in the middle. It's just kind of like sinks a bit. Those are those subtle details that you should look for. That you will see that in a lot of references. So if you look at references, it'll help you answer like the shape language you should have in there. And then with the wood table, it's adding character, adding time and usage. Like, how often has this drawer been opened? And like, is there any markings you can put on the top? They can be extremely subtle, but it'll just show that it was used a lot. That type of stuff. But yeah, hope that was useful, Tom. Okay, we're going to look at our Murta. Want to get some feedback before calling this one. Oh, why did it all open down here? There we go. Okay. Just taking it in. Okay, so I think presentation-wise, like I would try and, I don't know what this is, so it's just drawing your attention. I would try and pull this in, this ring of where the sand or the dirt ends. Just pull that in, and maybe instead of like a soft gradient, using like a threshold with the height map or something, it'll give you a nice like kind of micro breakup to like transition to. It might be more of a personal taste as well, but I think the main problem for me with the ground is that it's so large for no reason. Like I don't think it needs to be that wide for you to sell what you're building here. Now, the next things I would say is, so modeling to me actually looks okay. I don't have any wireframes, so I'm not sure how it's modeled. I love that there's footprints here to show like interaction. But I think where it's falling apart is, so you have resolution. So the floor is tiling too little. So you can see that it's lower res. You can see that it's a texture that's just lacking in resolution. So just tile it a little bit more. That'll help. And you won't notice that tiling if you shrink this ring down a bit as well. Also, don't hesitate to make it not flat. Pull that ground up in spots, and that'll help give you a feeling of like solid ground, and that this is very integrated into the ground. Like maybe the dirt kind of comes up on the edges a little bit. Modeling wise, this bar here feels like this wooden post piece feels really big, and it makes the chain, if the scale is correct, it makes that chain feel really small. All of these chains, usually we wouldn't model those, or we would exaggerate them if we do model it. Oh, you're Anthony? Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Modeling wise, it looks pretty interesting. The wood pieces look detailed enough. I don't know how high poly this is, but I can see the nails as well. There might be too much exaggeration with the nails. A few of them sticking up helps explain it. The bucket, I would scale the bucket up. Like, I mean, if we look at the footprints here, the bucket looks kind of the right size, and everything else is really big. So just thinking about scale, the next thing I would say is materials. And materials, it's like the bucket looks all right. I don't know how high res it is. I would suggest if it's really high res, is to try and use detail normals and tile across the escaped my meaning. Nice poly socks. I would use detail normals to try and get this pushed a bit further, and try and rely on lower res materials. This looks like detail normal in the normal map for the wood, so I think you may be going that route. There's not a very strong directional light, and I'm not sure what this is being rendered in, but we do have a shadow here. It just feels like like the ambient lighting is not. Yeah, here's that line again. That must be the horizon. I don't know what that is, but whatever is reflecting like a HDR map, or it just feels artificial in the lighting, and that's throwing off all of your materials. There's like a spot of light here too, so I feel like there's a light floating here. You can see it hitting here as well. This is the goodbye stream. Oh my god, you guys make it so dramatic. Yeah, we'll be gone for about 5 weeks, which is scary for me. I don't like it. Next thing I would look at, so materials, really understanding your materials and like what you're trying to say. Is this painted and then it's chipped away? How does that read? How does the chipping away work? This grass, getting that grass to be in little spots. If this is grown this tall, there's bound to be more around the well. But yeah, I hope that helps. That's a lot of, I think I said a lot. Let's see here. Oh yeah, let's look at your squid. Cfid. Let's go. Let's go. Look at that guy. Pretty cool, actually. So, wait, hang on here. It's interesting. So I really like this one. So you're trying to finish this project now. I'd like some advice on composition. So this shot, dope. Dope. This is already, you're like there. I would try and like push the surface, like the subsurface look that you're getting with the squid itself, and see if you can like let me see here. Maybe a depth of field that makes this cluster here a bit more blurred. And that, I think that'll help with the sense of like the space. I think that your kelp, I want to say it's kelp, looks pretty good. Maybe a bit thick, but maybe not. I think I need some references to really know. I would agree that this feels a bit noisy. Maybe less contrast in the albedo, and just allowing that type of information to be present more in the subsurface. But to me, this is composition. This is it right here. I would see if you can maybe make these longer. Maybe like a third longer, maybe out here. Well, you guys can't really see all of it. But like if you could make this like out here, then you pull the camera back a little bit and go like super wide. Let me... Yeah. I don't know if this is going to work. We try. Nope. Cool. Thanks. Come on, I believe in you. What? What? Why? Why did it become so bad? Cloud detailed results. Let's go. Last try. What is even happening right now? Anyways. So I would take this and maybe pull it out like maybe this far. Right? Because then from there you can, I'm just going to do some terrible stretching here. From there you can do something like this. Oh man, I didn't even need to paint on this, bro. Let's... Give yourself that room. Go ultra wide. Get this like all blurry back here. Get that nice depth. Because I think this is your shot. I think this is actually... You have your composition. You don't need any other angles. You could probably do some close-ups of the material. But like you can get this longer. Dude, that'll go... Literally, that'll go a long way. Like thicker as well. Because compositionally, this is sick. This is already really cool. And you blur this out a little bit. Oh, man. Like, can I... Let me see here. Other... neural filters. Let's see if it knows what it's looking at. Depth blur. What? Why is it look... No, stop. Plugins. What am I doing? Filter. Neural filters. Get the focus on that. Is it working? There we go. It still thinks this is really far away for whatever reason. But like, you see how much focus shift you get? I'll just paste it on top so we can... And like how much it makes these look just... Wow, it's doing a really good job of like bokeh effect. Just gets it popping, man. Really cool shot. I think it's already... Squid is popping. It's nice, man. And yeah, you could probably focus on like toning the contrast of this. And you can see like this highlight here. If that was softer, maybe that would help. I don't know. It'll give you more subsurface. I think I can't paint that to fake it, but might be too much blur. Might be. Might make it look a little too small, but just to illustrate it, you know? Like you can, we can go in here and erase all of this. So all this is in focus. But like the stuff in the back, yeah, we don't, like no one needs to focus on that, right? We're looking at this cool squid thing you made, which I'm sure Twitch algorithms are probably trying to figure out if it's something else right now. It's cool, man. I don't think you need another angle. Maybe a close-up of the material. These are cool. I think I like this one But again, like, you get close like this and you really have to push those materials, because what I'm seeing here is the modeling is fine, but the materials are not holding up. I would go with this, do the adjustments we were talking about, and just make this look good. Call it good. Call it good. This will get a lot of attention, I think. Just it's different, you know. Okay, I need to jump to the next one because man, you guys are posting like machines right now. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just gonna grab all of these and close those. Yeah, it looks procedural up close. Yeah, that's the thing to watch out for, I think. Okay, you're working in a Wild West environment for your final year project. Any feedback would be appreciated. Let's take a peek here. Okay, so you're going pretty detailed already, which I think is fine. Right now, it looks like you're building everything all at once, and you're not. No problem, Corsid. I think while this is great that you're building all these things, is your scope is unknown right now. We have no idea how big you're gonna make your scene. I think figure out what you want to show. Like lay out a scene that is the shot. You know, like this is the angle I want to show everything. Like this building here, and there's the church in the back, and you can see the gravestones in the back. Maybe that's at a higher elevation versus the other buildings. Get that layout all solved, and then continue doing what you're doing now. Because if you don't do that, you will keep making these, and you will become more and more confused about what you want to make. You'll know you're doing Western, but you won't know like what the frame is, what the target is, what's the end goal. Like you have to be able to answer the end goal, and you will be good to go. That being said, like this all looks pretty promising. I would say with this tower, I would prefer this to be taller, but I don't know. I don't have references, but what I'm seeing looks pretty sick. And I like how you're approaching all of the details. I think you just need to know the scene that you want to build. Like this feels like a separate scene from this. And this looks like it could kind of be close to this building. But I don't know what the goal is. Like block out a shot or a couple shots that you want to do with the pieces you've built already, and you'll be in a very good spot. Otherwise, I mean, this is looking cool. I like the attention to detail. These already look like they've gone pretty far. These don't feel like blockout to me. These look like you're using detail lighting and you don't want to show me the color or something. You love the cloth physics? Yeah, I mean, these have a nice weight to them. There's some nice pull that's happening. Trying to focus on this straight line being not so straight. Maybe some of these are tighter than others. Just kind of changes the shape a bit. You're planning to have a road from the tents to the town to church. That sounds like a year-long project, like a huge project. You did them in ZBrush. Dude, nice. Nice. I would, so that idea you have, start blocking that out. Like position things. You could use like super primitives for now if you want to. Just know the angle you want to get, right? And see where all that stuff is. And then see if it looks achievable. See what you feel like you're missing. List all that stuff out that you feel like you're missing. And start to say, okay, how long will it take me to build these? How long to like get everything kind of melted together? The sooner you can estimate your own time, the better you will be. Because you'll start to scope things into like a reasonable chunk. You know? Otherwise, this stuff looks sick. It's really intriguing. It's cool looking. I'm also curious how you're putting these together. Is this one whole mesh right now? Or is it in parts? Have they been UV'd already? All that stuff. Because that's all I'm seeing is the amount of work ahead of you. All right, next up, GLK. Hello, welcome to the server. You are fresh. Well, you're not that fresh, but you're no longer nomad. That's for sure. Let's take a look at these. There's a video as well. I think I want to just focus on the looks of these. Let's let me hang on. Everything is modular. That's cool. So you might be getting a lot of reuse pretty easily. Oh, you got a vibe going. Can I pop this out? Can I loop this? Yes, I can. So I like the rolling fog. Shokri, dude. Thanks for the 17 months, man. This is pretty sick. So you got some particles passing by. That's really nice. I would see if you can get these wires moving just a little bit. Just a little bit. But there's a really nice vibe going on here. Colors are quite interesting as well. And it's quite foggy. One thing I would say is I have this at 1440p, and it's really, maybe it's just compression, because it's a lot of subtle information. It feels a bit low res. Now, we have, I think we're level 2 right now in the Discord. If you got some boosts, you can get us to level 3. But you should be able to upload this directly to the server, and it shouldn't really have any compression on it. So if you want to show this to other people and get some feedback on that, what I would say, it looks pretty cool. We've got some inside space. There's some nice subtle ambient light going on. This shot is pretty sick. Everything's very straight. I'm trying to see if there's like, I would maybe have less going on in the telephone poles, just to try and, like, the attention I feel like is right here, right? And then you have this light here, and then these become very large masses as they get further away. And if there was less on them, it wouldn't draw as much attention to it, but it would still read as what you're wanting it to, how you want it to read. Like, oh, okay, that's what that is. You understand it already. This is nice, nice level of detail. I don't know how much of this is created by you versus reuse, but I guess this is a lighting and composition exercise. I think from it's all marketplace assets. Cool, man. So you can see this fence, this like railing line up here for the bridge. I would try and get the color of the side of the bridge to be a little bit darker than the sky. That way this all connects, because right now this almost feels like it's floating. And I think the wall goes all the way up to here, right? And then it's here. These are like over the edge, like a clamp. I would maybe make the surface just a little bit darker so the sky is, or make the sky brighter, something to separate them. So it's very floaty right now. Either way, it's cool. Looks cool. I would say it would be nice if you had one more like subtle light direction. Hello, squid. Let's do like this. Let me see if I can do. So like this side here. If there was something that helped us like feel like we're just to get some information popping. I wonder where else you could do that. What is happening? Why? There we go. No? Like, no? You don't want to? You see how much that can add? Just is very subtle. I mean, it can even be off the top there. It's just some type of side directional lighting that's coming in from off shot just to help separate the bridge out a bit from the environment. It can go into the fog pretty quickly. But just, yeah, some details there. Paint over. It would help a lot. Gives you some directionality. It also like allows you to add some like some depth to the underside of the bridge, if there is any. Oh, whoops. No, what is happening? There we go. So imagine the underside of the bridge has an angle to it, or like it's hexagonal or like angular in shape. That helps you understand the shape language of the bridge, the underside of it. It's super powerful what you can do with like a secondary light. Because you've got this like main light. It's just a cooler color that's coming in. Oh, it's good. It's a cool scene. Only other comment I would say is the angle of this vehicle and the angle of this vehicle are very similar. I would maybe have this one facing you or like tilted sideways. Maybe the lights here are hitting these pillars. So you get that like that hit of color. Let me see if I can. You know, getting that effect. From the car light. Bring it down a bit more. Turn that saturation up. There you go. Just, oh man, so much more interaction happening with the surfaces will go a long way. Just with how your lights are interacting with everything. Anyways, really cool. I like the vibe you got going on there. All right, we got Saba up next. Can I get some feedback on my work in progress abandoned chateau? Mainly on framing, shape, lighting, your overall thoughts. Thank you. Let's see here. Ooh, we got a mouse going crazy. Woo! GLK, no problem. This feels pretty nice. So, right off the bat, I'll say this feels strange because it feels like warped or bent in design. Making sure that it's like I would exaggerate it more so that we understand that it's not an error and it's more of like a geometric design to how the frame of the fireplace is built, right? This shelf here, or this dresser, I guess, or let's go here. Doesn't really fit or match the style of everything. So there's some style stuff to do. I guess you're saying this is abandoned, right? So getting that aging is going to be really important. The interior lighting is actually quite nice, and I like how you're working on your crown molding for your ceiling. I definitely get something. Where are we at here? I'd get something up here, like pattern wise, and maybe it comes down, hangs down, like a chandelier or something, or even just a ceiling design. You know, that's got like the petals and the shape language on the ceiling. For sure, look at references if you're not right now. And then I would. So this is a common mistake you'll see with a lot of people when they're doing doorways. So right now your door feels like it's placed on the wall. Remember to just cut a hole in the wall and build the frame to the thickness of the wall, right? So that you actually have a frame framing the opening in a wall, and then place the door in there, and you'll actually see there's so much more depth that you get versus like what you have here. It really feels like it's floating. Remnants of a chandelier would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. Now you have this, you've got like the hanging details, and then you have all this stuff down here. All little glass bits and all that stuff that fell like, I don't know, a year ago. Step 1, cut a hole in the box. Wow. But yeah, try and tell a story. If it's abandoned, show us abandoned. Like, are people squatting in here? Has there been like, do we have like I like where all this stuff is placed. Can we put like a backpack here and like a pillow and some stuff down so you can tell someone's like passing through and they're just sleeping there? Yeah, this to me design wise just doesn't feel like it makes sense. The dresser. I like where this is all going though, and because it's like think really grand. Like this shape here, I would make it like this big. And then like make it look like someone threw something at it and it just like shattered right here. Then you have some like little pieces down here. Everything's like super upright and organized. Some graffiti would be great. You could have some graffiti that goes across the wall like this. And then you could have the door missing and you just have the graffiti, go across, and then where the door was, it's not there, and the graffiti just continues. Maybe the door's in the hallway. And the hallway could just be more of these walls just to fake the hallway. It doesn't need to be like a full-on hallway. And keep in mind, like everything you have right now propping wise is sitting around this height. If this lamp was taller, it was up here, that could help. Because now everything feels like it's pointing to this doorway. Like if the taller this lamp gets, the more, and then if you make this bigger, you can see now everything's looking here, like compositionally. Yeah, tell stories with all the little details. There's a lot you can do in here. And think about like what you want your walls to look like, what the surfaces are, how they peel and like age with the whole abandoned vibe they have going. Anyways, really cool. Nyla, hope work's going well. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Let's take a peek here. Well, this is looking pretty cool. Also, I hope that was Saba. I hope that was helpful. Okay. Let me just taking this in. Man, I love how this has a lean to it. Like this thing is not perfect. Not perfect at all. I love it. So I think the thing that sticks out for me the most is, so the railing is quite dark, right? And I think that's okay. I think it can be dark, and I can tell like your inner interior design is like kicking off hard in this scene. Like everything feels like it's in the right spots, you know. The light count here maybe 3 instead of 4, mainly because this light's really close to the edge. Your interior design is work in progress. Well, I mean, it looks pretty nice. Yeah, the Empire, dude, none of that stuff is working. I don't know what happened to my bot. We can do this. There you go. So what I would say is there's scale things going on that are kind of playing with me. So we got the shoes down here, and we have this height. I assume you're placing a character around the environment. You're pretty good about that. So the scale of everything's pretty good. I feel like the floor here might be okay, the thickness it is, but it'll look thicker if you thin these out a bit. Right now, this is super bold, right? It's all dark, and then the wood color, like maybe just a little bit thinner on the wood steps, and then all of this, I would like do like 2/3 of what it is in the thick parts, and just see if that helps with the scale of the scene. I think I'll actually do quite a bit. But I mean, otherwise, this is like you have the door problem I was talking about earlier. Like the frame sticks out so far, and the door is almost parallel with the wall. Use door frames and doors as an excuse to give you some depth variation on your walls. Like you got your wall, and then the frame comes out just a little bit, and then it goes in, and then the door is more in than the wall. So you just get that nice breakup, because you're already doing it quite a bit. You're just pushing it further and like getting that frame to be not as bold in its edge. Like that thickness is serious right now. Make sure the fridge isn't embedded in the wall. I think it is. Yeah, it's a cutout hole. That's awesome. Yeah, I think you push the door in a little bit, then grab the door frame and the door, and then push that all in a little bit more, and it'll... I'm trying to decide if there's too many doors in this hallway as well. I can't tell yet. You could play with maybe this one not being here and see if you can put more stuff on the wall, like frames. Just thinking what else we could... I love this little plant by the window. It's good. Good stuff. Really feel like it's missing. So the detail you have with the shoes, I feel like you need that pass across everything, and then you'll probably be pretty good. Yeah, see like these little plants up here. And I guess the surface of the fridge, really like play with the roughness there. Another colored wall would be really nice in here for sure. I mean, you got this one up here. There's some nice bounce going on. Your lighting is really nice. These lights on the ceiling could maybe be bigger, just to give them a little bit more scale. I don't know if you needed to go too crazy with the colors. I think there's... Yeah, I think just keep going. Keep going. Let's see where it gets to. Maybe the rugs are a little thick, but nice stuff so far. Man, I love this tile back here. This is dope. Cool. Thank you for sharing, and hopefully that was helpful. Was it Demothanus? Look at that. Painting spatula. Hello, recently created this prop for a texture practice, or for texture practice, looking for some feedback regarding textures and presentation. So right off the bat, this looks pretty cool. I guess this is supposed to be paint that's like dried on there. It looks I think it maybe looks a bit too placed. I think if it had more directionality in its smearing and then that had dried on there, that would go really nicely. But dude, like, look at this. This is really cool. I love the gradient in the wood as well. Oh, wow. Okay. Hang on here. Oh, we don't have high-res reference. But it looks like you've got these little... Oh, interesting. So I think what's happening here, this type of corrosion is my assumption. I think your corrosion is very micro, and I think scaling it up a little bit would help. But, I mean, this looks pretty sick, man. With the amount of, like, wear and tear that's happening here, I'm surprised that we're seeing so much directional grain in the normal. I think it might be a bit smoother. I don't have really anything to add to this. It's nice that there's this difference on the end here, and then this like little bit of character in the wood material. I think when you look at the roughness, there's some opportunity to get some separation where like maybe this could be less rough compared to the wood, just to separate the materials a bit. Because right now they're very samey. So this doesn't really read so much like metal other than I understand that's what it is. Pretty sick though. Really cool. Very nice. I don't have much else to say on it. I would say just look at your roughness and try and get some material separation there. The paint on the steel is supposed to be eroded holes. I think the color being added into it's kind of throwing me off a little bit. And it's so consistent, the edges, that it feels like it's more surface, like on top of the surface instead of embedded in the surface. This is cool though. Really, really insane detail going on here. Very nice. Vitor, let's take a look at your Vexor Hunter. Yeah, the wood texture is super nice. All right, so would appreciate some general feedback on my latest work, my first gun model. It's chunky. The goal was to practice hard surface and make a model ready for rigging and animation. I've been following you since I started about 3 years ago. Dude, wow, I'm not very active in the community, but I've learned a lot from the live streams and videos. Oh, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you taking the time to post your work as well. So, of course, I'm no weapons artist. From this view, this thing looks really chunky, but I think it's the FOV that's kind of causing it. When you look at it from the side view, this feels really nice. if the exercise was to model, practice your hard surface and make a model ready for rigging and animation, then I think my assumption is you've done it. Ooh, this is kind of cool. I like that. I like this presentation. So it's quite stylized right now in the material work. My 3D thinks, dude, what's up, man? First time chat too. No problem, demo. Hope it was useful. So right now I'm getting it's quite stylized. So I think modeling wise it's looking pretty good. Maybe this back area here feels a bit primitive, but everything else feels pretty nice. And I think the next thing to push on is your material work, understanding how to like push those surfaces. I don't know if you want to go stylized or if you want to go more towards like because this feels a bit more stylized to me, even though it's quite accurate. It's kind of like whatchamacallit, what's that game that recently came out? It's a competitive shooter from Stockholm. Particle's working on it. What is it called? It's killing me. Anyways, it kind of feels like it's from that kind of vibe where it's realistic, but it's also like playful. The finals, thank you, Bumby. And Raggedy, dude, coming in hot. Yes, it kind of has that tone. So it's about like figuring out where you want your style to be, like what direction you want to go in stylistically, and just pushing those materials, those surfaces, because you are getting variation and there's separation in like how your roughness is reading. And it's more like, okay, how do you push that further? Because now I would say like this looks like it was a pretty successful work on your hard surface skills. Presentation wise, I'm not really a fan of the yellow background. Oh, dude, that's cool. Oh, these are great. This is really cool to see. So in this view, if the plan is to be able to aim down this, make sure you get enough geometry in order to not be able to count edges. Like this area here could also even be modeled if you're gonna get that view. Yeah, arc raiders could be pretty cool, man. Ooh, look at this. Yo. You don't see this very often. That's cool, man. Wow, okay. So UV wise, I would try and straighten out these types of details when possible, but it looks like a majority of the rest of your UVs are pretty straight, so maybe those are okay. You that tri-count with a wireframe, that would be pretty sick. That'd be pretty cool to see. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, this is really cool, man. You should find someone on the server that wants to animate. Or find someone that you can group up with that can animate this. I think it'd be pretty sick. We've seen some people animating the server before, so. Where are we at here? Oh, man. Okay, I'm probably going to lock the thread. Dude, I love it. I can just lock it. That's so sick. It's a very different experience making a thread. Hey, no problem. Really, really nice. I would like to see your texture flats, but maybe that was not the focus of this. So, totally understand if not. All right, next up we've got Fuds, bro. What is happening here? Just gonna do this. Okay. Dude, this looks sick. What the hell? Dude, we got more squid action. SOS, dude. What? Man, this looks sick. Oh, I love this too. Man, this has a mood to it. Oh, man. Okay. What do you even say? So what's really nice is seeing this directional lighting. Yeah, goals. This looks great. This looks really cool. So you have a directional light that's really like front hitting this building. Oh man, it's so cool with the shadow here too. I think for this shot, the lighting direction's pretty spot on. Like literally. It looks, lighting wise, this is really nice. Maybe the smoke could be a little bit more volumetric, like having the back of it a little darker. Just to get it to pop out a bit more. But the direction of the lighting in this one is really nice. Where I'm losing it a bit is in some of the other shots. Like here, I'm like, dude, this is so sick. You've got this nice light, so there's nice reflections going on here. Man, this is so sick. I'm in love. I love this look. You're doing some weird things with your pipes, which I think can be okay as long as the welding lines are big enough. You struggle a bit with the particle stuff. I'm sure there's some people in the server that can help. I struggle a bit with particles as well, but getting that volume is going to be really good, man. So see the amount of like, I see this as well, but the amount of character and age you've got going on that's so clear. Getting that, yeah, you got it here, got a little bit there. Remember that when surfaces get wet, they, water drains and drips off everything. So the undersides of these tend to be like a discoloring or darkening. Something to keep in mind. With these types of drains, you're always going to get some dents near the bottom. People hitting it with stuff. Nice with the buckets. I think it could be nice with just one or two hits of color. But yeah, I'm getting TF2 vibes. Some Half-Life action is really cool. I'm curious if like, so if we go here, if I just turn the saturation up. So I do like it, how toned down it is. Is this thing gonna work for me? Can I select some pipes, please? Nice, I'll take it. If some of these pipes could just be a different color. Let's see if I can. That is not working how I hoped it would. This kind of works. If you had, of course, not this crazy, but getting some colors on the one of the pipes just as like an accent could be pretty cool. TF2 vibe, dude, right? It's TF2 vibes for sure. But just getting some changes in the surface, even if it's only like at the base. Like imagine if all of the piping had that just kind of slight discoloration. See where the bottom is like slightly tinged? That could be cool. You have areas like, oh my God, I'm blind. You have areas here that just need a little contact action. Just to like push the contact of surface to surface. Keep in mind I'm using a mouse. But just to ground stuff, man, I love these seams you've got going on here. They show construction. They show how things are put together, which is really good. This black might be a little too black. Like just a little too dark. But I love like what's going on here with the paint and all that. That's just, yeah, everything about this is really cool. Like when we look at this one, I want to see more light, but maybe I don't. I don't know. It's debatable. I would say the glass feels a little light. Trying to figure out, I mean, I guess it's reflecting the sky, right? But trying to figure out how to get the glass to really feel integrated is going to help. Maybe it's just going darker would help. You know? Does the glass have thickness? It does feel like Source Engine. For sure. Does this work? Oh, it might. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I'm not sure. It just, the glass feels like maybe the roughness could be less so that you're getting more of the reflection of the sky in it. I think it probably just needs that range. Oh, the construction line? So this line, you could probably just use a decal and run it across. Or like this is like a tileable trim sheet. Get this man a job, right? Fuds, what are you doing? I don't have much to come on improvement-wise, though. I would love to see more of a close-up of... So, if there's one thing I could ask you to push further, is more of the storytelling of what happened here. Like, were these out? Were they swinging all over the place? Like, show that it hit, like, the corner of this building and, like, dented it, right? And then, like, just kind of slime and gunk all over the place, just, like, localized around this area. You don't want to know. But, like, this right here, this feels like a screenshot in its own. It's quite interesting. I think you're missing a lot of, like, contact decals, like dripping here, connections there. This wire is very dark. This bevel's quite sharp. Some nice little chips on the bottom there, though. Man, look at all that freaking ink. I mean, it's cool, man. Really cool. I'm impressed. I would love to take a look at this scene and break it down. Awesome. So, okay, next up, I am not moving fast enough, that's for sure. I'm going to pick up the speed a little bit. So, Riggy has an image. This one here. Oh, this looks cool. Man, it's got some character. Hey, thanks for sharing, Fuds. So, most... where's the answer I would appreciate? going to go for a realistic drill. I kind of messed up some of the ref parts. Really just decided to go and add some stylization. Totally fine. Looks cool. Looks interesting. And now, honestly, I feel like I want to venture more into stylized stuff. So I'm curious on how to approach stylization. So for me, approaching stylization is just sticking to rules. You know, we were looking at that stylized, like, what was that building? Hang on, let me scroll back here real quick. This one. So stylization to me is all rules. You build a rule set and then you stick to it. So like when I was talking about thickness of details, so the top part here is like its own thickness, right? Let's say that's maximum thickness. Medium size would be like these details. You can see they're all the same like thickness. And tertiary is going to be maybe this one. Sorry, this one looks like it's actually this. Tertiary is going to be these like smaller details here and here. So getting those rules and how you chip edges, for example, like the language you have going on here, like these little nicks, and like this kind of like matting, like malleting kind of look, you're applying it to areas throughout. So you're kind of sticking to a visual style. When it comes to stylization of the materials, I think that could be a very similar approach where you're just trying to figure out like, okay, sticking to basic color and then adding, let's say an edge highlight in the texture itself. The way that edge highlight is applied or the color that it is, making that as a rule and being consistent about it throughout the mesh is kind of like fitting to a stylization that you're like, that's your direction, right? Don't hesitate. Just try things. I would suggest taking this model, figuring out like the roughness, general roughness of each piece that is different from each other. Start with those values and then just get a color on them and then just start painting on it really. But this looks cool already. I'm already intrigued or curious about where this is going because the model looks really interesting. Everything's very thick and chunky, and then you can see the tape here is a little thin. I would maybe thicken it up a little bit because everything is giving a bit of a chunky vibe. So getting the tape to be a little bit chunky as well I think that'll help bring it in line with the look that you're going with for everything else. Fuds, where can I follow you? Yo, look at this. Post that link, Fuds. Post it. Okay, Jamie, tiling rock material that I'm working on, made purely in Designer so far. Okay, we're clicking all the links. So this looks like, it doesn't read like rock to me. Because rock is all layers, right? And what I'm not understanding is like, what is this type of detail here? That's more in line with maybe like a concrete. I would really try and layer up your information. Like this stuff that's happening here, get that happening on a macro level. Like this is here. Get that really defined. Like, I'm trying to think of how to best describe. It basically, it just needs to feel like layers of rock. It depends also what type of rock you're creating. Reference is going to be everything, so you can see how it's chipping, how it damages and ages over time, and where like the details kind of build up. Because the language I'm getting here is more concrete like. So, and right now this is quite blobby as well. So figuring out like, find the rock that you want to create. Some subtle quantization passes mixed into the height could be nice for layering. Yeah. Right now I think you're going really subtle. And I would go broad stroke, like super, like this type of stuff here. More of this. Sharper, more chiseled. Just work on layering, large scale layering. And you can get to the micro stuff after. I wouldn't even try and texture this right now. Just focus on the height map and getting that displacement in the normal to look like really nice. AO in there as well, and just try and get the surface to read as rock. And references, figure out what type of rock you're making. Rock surface. 3Dan. 3Dan. Hello. Let's take a peek here. Would appreciate some feedback on this latest work. Would be really happy if you could do a quick check on other objects in the portfolio. I can only do one. But this looks cool. Holy hell. This is a huge project. SXITG. Yo, is this you? Dude, this looks pretty rad. I like this. A lot of character going on. So everything is very evenly lit. I would try and find ways to get some separation. I'm always a big fan of playing with depth of field as well. So let's just neural filter it really fast and just see what's happening. Because this can help with getting that separation, right? Of course, it's not going to work everywhere. It's like confused about this upper area. It's like, I don't know what I'm blurring out. But like getting anything like that is just going to help with the backdrop, right? Turning off some of the lights just to get you some separation. Some of the materials look like they might be a bit too dark. Man, this is pretty cool. Dude, there's so much stuff happening in here. Oh yeah, see, this is awesome. So when you look at this and then you put the materials on, like I wonder if I can copy this image, paste that in here. Let's go and maybe grab this one. No. I'm like, do we have a similar shot? We don't. So I really like these ones just because there's areas of rest, like areas that are calm, and then spaces of detail. Same with this one. You have like stuff happening and then areas where things chill out a little bit. These ones are really intense on the eyes. Same with this, super intense. I would maybe tone down the amount of lighting that's kind of emphasizing the normal information on this back wall. And then, yeah, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of information to take in. Dude, this space is so crazy. It's cool. It's like you have lines that are going this way, but then back here they go this direction. So there's like this split in perspective. But you can see once the materials are away, it's much easier to kind of read the space. So I think what I would try and do is look at your albedos and try and balance them so that they're closer. Like if you go grayscale on this image, for example, if I copy this one. So if we grayscale that, you can see there's very similar contrast to, or like there's tons of contrast between everything. And trying to bring things closer together in their value range, you can retain the color, but you can kind of bring the busyness down if the contrast between materials is cleaned up. That would go a long way for getting this to read easier. Because like when you see the unlit, or like it's just like detail lighting only, everything is so easy to read through and break down. Like it really emphasizes how dark this surface is and how dark these chains are. It's interesting. So there's probably some balancing you could do in your color, in your albedo, to try and bring everything together a bit more. But man, really cool scene. Oh my god, look at all this. Maybe a bit of a detail pass on the roughness for the metals, those larger surfaces. Wow. Dude, you got like the layouts and everything. Holy cow. Dude, this real place looks intense on the eyes. That's pretty hardcore. It's cool though. Some of the scale of the objects are throwing me off. Could be FOV. Yeah, I agree. I think it is FOV. Because some stuff gets really like... You could probably do like a shallower depth of field. Or like shallower focal length. And take shots from distance. Use a lot of photography tricks to get everything to, like, see if I zoom in like this and then face this way. It's much easier than when it's skewed and like everything becomes really long. Like that's a little easier to read. Everything's not so like stretched. Really nice though. All right, David. I'm working on this environment. I'd like to get some feedback on. Still pretty early, and I'm sort of just been working on tiling materials. Finished up the palm trees, which still needs variation. I've been messing around with the lighting a bit as well. I'd really appreciate any general feedback, advice you could give me if you get a chance. Thanks. Let's see here. I mean, this looks really cool. I think... So the lights and the palm trees are competing with the taller details you have here. I would either make the details of the building taller. I'd do two things. I would make the details on the building a little bit taller, and then I'd make all the other elements on the street a little bit lower. Maybe the palm trees can be smaller. Definitely look at the scale of things and try and like figure out what you want us to be focusing on. This looks cool though. Sidewalk wise, well, I'm trying to think of the scale here. I guess I would need to walk around in it to really get a sense of the scale, because the sidewalk feels quite huge. And then like the heights of stuff, scale feels a little strange to me. Like maybe these are supposed to be even taller, and maybe the building is actually supposed to be even bigger. Like it's kind of thrown me off. Like these are really small, but then the sidewalks here and is huge. These are usually pretty big. But I think it's like these get scaled up and then the sidewalk gets scaled down. So there's some large sidewalks and a boulevard. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of scale stuff going on here. I'd play around with the scale and bring a character in so that you have a scale to go off of. But it's looking pretty... It's looking cool. I would see if you can find some vehicles online that you can just place and get some meters up or something. Gotta charge those fools. Parking in that prime real estate. I feel like you're trying to do a lot, so this scene could turn into a lot of work. So I would see if you can figure out the camera angles that you really want to lock into and see if you can scale back to that. The trees feel artificially lit. Yeah, they kind of feel like there's an underlight hitting them. I would see if you can get some subsurface or like a subsurface material on these to just brighten up the underside. This one looks like it's a light, whereas like, subsurface will just kind of do it in the shader based off the vector of the sun. Pretty cool though. I need some references and some more context to this, I think. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So you're building looks like just some street props. Would like some critiques on context of presentation and texturing. So material wise, the materials look a little simple, but maybe I think it's more of the modeling that's kind of like implying the simplicity. But let's see what we're. When you see it, hang on. Excuse me. When you see it rendered like this, surfaces look pretty good. So ignore what I said. This is really nice as well. You can see the plating and like how it's kind of put together. This one feels a little strange. I would see if you can find some reference to understand the thickness of this, the roundness on the top here, how it connects to this, and how wide this is. It's the same with the cone. Like usually the cones are square and they're kind of they come out a bit further. And how the top and the edge terminate into that square shape. Material wise looks pretty good. I mean this white material is more of a reflective type of surface. So keep that in mind. With this one, I feel like this is a very old school way of texturing. So what I'm seeing is there's some darkening in here in the albedo. Do that in a way where it feels like, why is that dark? It's because it's dirt, right? This one looks like they actually painted it with red, like a darker red. Some of the details feel a little flatter, like the little rivets here. And just getting it to feel aged and knowing what the surface is. Like this looks painted, but it looks really thinly painted instead of like a thick kind of like not as reflective paint that you would normally have on these. So yeah, definitely you're looking at references. I would get much more and just push on your materials and try and figure out like a good reflective material for these, for those bands, because they're designed to like flash basically in an ambient light. Tobias, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you, dude. We're on the tail end of this review. Marvin, dude, this looks pretty cool. So I'd say the normals in these like larger cracks here are probably a bit too strong, and I think the roughness feels a little off. Like I guess you're wanting the surface to feel like it's reacting to the lighting, right? Hey, no problem. I hope it was useful. You're always like, no, dude. No problem, man. Yeah, it's been a good stream so far. This is the last stream until April 4th or something like that, because the move is coming. So if you want to get that information to come through, I would isolate where the paint used to be. It kind of looks like that's what you're doing. I would smooth out the normal information where the paint is, and then I would let that part be reflective, and I think it'll actually read better what you're trying to do. This information down here feels really strange to me. Like I'm not sure how that's happening. But this is a huge improvement by comparison of what we'd seen previously. Huge improvement. You are getting a little bit of like edge information here that's a little strange. Like this like straight line here. I love the little carvings of text on here. Yeah, the wear and tear. I understand the wear and tear of it standing on the ground. It's the shape language of it that feels strange to me. Like it looks more like paint from the bottom and not from the being removed, if that makes sense. It looks like I lifted it up and then someone grabbed it and just painted the bottom really fast. This is a huge improvement, though, from what you had before. It's looking good. All right, Blizzard 11145. This is reading much better. You are getting some, what is that? So around your leaves, it feels like you might be getting a little bit of a halo effect where the edge is whitening because the alpha, it mips, and then you see the outside of the leaf texture. Try and make sure to get some bleed on that, and that can help. I think that's what's going on. generally speaking, it's definitely easier to read, but it's hard to tell. It's still hard to read the space as it is. Like there's so much information kind of overlapping everywhere that it's hard to read. So I think if you were to tone back the vines to like half of what they are, these hangy ones, that'll help with like giving us room to read the space. It's looking cool though. It's hard to read. Like you have this detail here that's cutting in the space, so we have nowhere for our eyes to lead. We just look up here and then go down this way. This one as well, like I would lower the grass and maybe like localize it to the edges. That'll help a lot also. Yeah, see all this stuff here is just blocking us from being able to see the scene. So there's a lot of details happening, but it's just kind of blocking us from being able to understand the space. I think that's probably the biggest thing. It was the normal intensity. Ah, okay. That'll do it. That would do it. And yeah, like you can see the ceiling is quite bright. Let me see if we can just like we got a few minutes. We got 2 more posts to look at, and we're doing good. We're doing good. So it's more about like I'm just gonna draw this. Hang on here. This is gonna be messy, but yeah, it's fine. It did. That's okay. Yeah. Let's maybe like grab this ceiling as well, and then maybe we'll grab this back here, and then this. I'm like, yeah, kind of masking that. Okay. No, I'm not. It's not that great. Just subtract this. Cool. Okay, so if we grab all of that detail, maybe even under here. This is like a semi-ceiling detail. Subtract that. Okay. Watch this. So just doing that, now we start to understand the space a little bit more, right? We understand like where things come forward, where things are behind stuff. So I think what's happening with your lighting is it's making it really difficult to understand spatially when things are closer to you or further away, or just like you do this, everything's very flat to you, right? I wonder if I could just like overlay. Oh boy. See, because you could do this, and then we could even just erase it like this so it's not so extreme. You just need that separation. It helps focus the eye. Then you know, like, okay, that's a pillar. Okay, that's opening the ceiling. Like this back area here. Like this. If this was just darker. That does a lot for understanding the space, right? But yeah, it's getting the layers, the separation, and understanding the space, and removing like all of this stuff here. Just pull it to the sides. Let us see into the space. Okay, Pelen. Trying to get this concept. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of your shape language, I guess you're trying to do. So this is stylized hand painted 2.5D project of mine. I'm looking for some general feedback, mostly colors and what to add. I think I'm thinking of adding flowers and some lilac colored flowers that are lilac colored, and the ground and leaves fall into the ground. It's the whole process. You want to check it out. Okay, whole process. So the languages that I'm seeing from yours to, oh, this is cool. Okay, so what I would say is you look at this one, the shape language of these curvy loop kind of drop looking shapes in your reference that you're going off of, they're very spherical. So paying attention to that, definitely like you're working on that underlighting or like the under shadows that you see here. I'm curious if there's something you could do with like painting on normals to get that effect instead of like painting the texture. But I see where you're heading with it. It's hard to feedback on it because like right now I feel like the highlights that are here, like in this piece, they're quite bright. So I think getting this brighter would help a lot. But I think the shape language of what's happening here and like this extension here is causing a bit of issue with like how they would grow. Even in this kind of, so from here compositionally this is quite strong. And from here this one would probably be the strongest one, and this one would be a little bit weaker. Let me see if we can. So I'm just gonna doodle on this real quick. Let me just do this. I'm just doing this with the mouse as well, of course, so let me see if I can, because I still like the curve that's going on there. What is going on here? There we go. Okay. So like right now, a lot of the angles that you've got going on are very like edgy. See how it gets thin here and then it gets wider here? Like being more consistent in that will help a lot, I think. I do like what you're doing here. It's just trying to make it look more natural. It's difficult. And then with these shapes, I would really go for like rounder shapes. And getting this, trying to find like a brighter, where are we at here? Brighter. Trying to get some brighter details on this upper part. And then you're focusing on the darker values down the sides of it, right? Maybe this should be happening. I don't know, it's tough because it's very specific. It's just really like understanding where you want your focal lights to be, the highlights and whatnot. Oh, this is cool. So with the leaves, I mean, I would really push these more, like thicker. So that'll just help ground it a bit more. It'll help you in the long run. And then with your leaves, I'm just gonna like, can I just do this? I'll just do some stuff like this. Just getting those leaves around. You're gonna need a lot of them, I think. And then I like your idea of the flowers. Just try and keep it simple in its concept because it'll help unify it a bit more. You don't want to add too many things. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So this is a tough one though. I think what you're doing is more abstract, and I do terrible with abstract. So hopefully that's helpful what I'm giving you here. The main thing I would feedback on is this, how it gets thin here and then wider here. Try and be more consistent with those shapes. And the roots are going to be very similar in visual language to the thickness of the rest of the plant. Okay, last one. Here we are. Frank, dude, look at this. This looks great. This turned out great. I think this actually, dude, this is awesome. Look at that wall too, bro. Delicious. Thunder. Dude, these are awesome. Ooh. So you did a really good job. Let's see here. You did a really good job balancing everything. Like nothing's too dark. Surfaces are reading. Hey, serious. Oh, you're Pelen. Yo. Yeah, I hope it was helpful. I feel like that was a really difficult one for me to feedback on. Oh, this looks awesome. Balancing everything. I bet, dude. I bet. I love this shot. I love this shot. I think this smoke is maybe a little too fast. Do you know? I don't know. It feels pretty quick though. Yeah, this is cool, man. Is this are you using path tracing for this? Look at these two. Too fast and maybe too long. Just lumen, really. Dude, that's sick. I need to sign in so I can like this. Wow, really nice stuff. Hey, I know this guy. Rectangle lights for some juicy highlights. Yeah, you're really pushing. Man, this looks good. It's a really nice balance. Subtle gradients on surfaces. Nice highlights, nice reflections happening. It's really nice. It's really hitting like how the concept was. And it's got the crispiness that you see in the reference. Like you sharpen the hell out of this, that's for sure. I can feel it. Dude, cool. There's some like details like where the pillar meets the ceiling still works somehow because just the materials read the way they should. Let me look at your post again real quick and just see what's in here. Okay, yeah. Look at this. So you're showing what's trim sheets and what's tileables. Very nice. I would love to see some more breakdown. Yeah, you crushed this one for sure. Hang on, I need to sign in. That was the last one as well. So just FYI, I'm about to roll out of here. Can I just sign in, please? Please, let me sign in. Last stream ended. Wait, you make it so intense. I'm not ready. No, so I will be. So this after this stream, the next time we stream will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's like 5, 6 weeks from now. We're not ready. I'll be in the Discord. Maybe we can have some calls. I'm the 100th like. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. I need to get some tunes going here. Where are we at here? But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. It was really good. Next time the stream is live, I should be in the other apartment. Famous last words. What can you include further in the breakdown? I think I just want to see like how your like some wireframes and UV work. I mean, a lot of it's trim sheet, right? So it's going to be kind of difficult to do that. But I just want to see more. I want to understand how you put things together. It doesn't really show how much work went into trim sheets. I think it's what I'm taking away from it. Okay. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for everything, and thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in Discord. You can get there from here. Okay. See you guys later. Goodbye.